Hey tractor friends out there, thank you for joining me. I hope that the thumbnail, even in its deceiving state, brought you here to find out the truth about buying this particular tractor. This is a TYM 2474. I did the research on sizes. I've shopped every color. I've shopped a lot of horsepowers. I was trying to determine my needs and what would fit my purposes best. And what's sitting behind me right now is, by the process of elimination, the tractor that came home with me. And this is not, let's say, this is not a review. This is an overview. So consider it this way. The way I look at it, I've got 33 hours on her in the past 3 weeks. And it's kind of like the Saturday morning after you go on the first date with the woman you want to marry. You had a good Friday night and you're looking forward to a long time together. So hopefully this tractor will be on Doodle Hill for a long time, and it will it's already shown that it's going to pay for itself just in my physical well-being and not busting the gut doing what I do. The main reason that we were shopping for this tractor is what's behind me right there, the grapple bucket. So when you see "do not buy this tractor," that's very deceiving. It comes with a great big caveat. Do not buy this tractor. Do not bring it back to your homestead unless you have the dealer add the third function and you bring home a grapple. Other than that, you're going to love this tractor. It should meet just about everybody's need on a moderate farm or agrarian purpose. This is proving itself so practical. It's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. It'll do just a little bit of everything and a whole lot of the things I need it to do. The reason that grapple is imperative is I heat this home with wood, like I said, and I'm getting old. I'll be frank about the matter. I'm 50 years old. I've had double bypass heart surgery, and I cannot grab those 250 to 350 pound oak billets and move them around to the wood splitter and process them like I used to. 25 years ago, I'd grab a 10-pound hammer and a bucket full of wedges, and I'd bust it halfway before we even got it to the wood splitter. But that adds touching that wood over and over and over again. This grapple allows me to process firewood and cut the process almost by 2/3. And that's because now, instead of working the wood up in the woods, I can take it back to the shop and everything's right there, drop it. Basically, the only thing I've got left to do manual is to stack it after we saw it. Now, that particular grapple bucket is my preference. And a lot of people might throw shade at me and have a contrasting opinion. That's okay. We all don't wear the same britches. I got you. You might need a clamshell. That might fit your purpose better. You might need a full bucket grapple, depending on what you're using it for. But let me explain why I would not have bought this tractor without this grapple. And if I was to have to buy this tractor 3 more times, there'd be 3 more grapples come home with it. One is my back. When you're processing firewood and you're dropping the trees and you're working it up, the ultimate goal is to get it to the woodshed. There is a lot of bucking, groundwork on that tree. This brings it off the ground and brings it to waist height. And if you're using a 32 or a 36-inch bar, your day just got a whole lot shorter by being able to control your stance. And instead of getting down here and working the wood up, you bring the wood to you. So do not buy this tractor without a grapple. Simple statement. That's my overall observation. That's not just a trick to pull you in. I'm telling you, if you buy any compact tractor, don't bring that joker home unless you add the third function at the dealer and you get the grapple that suits your needs. If you have the means, buy a clamshell too before you even come home. You'll see that they fit 2 different, it's kind of like a round peg for a round hole. It's what fits your need is what's most important. And like I said, this is an overview. I've had a first date with it, 33 hours, tickled pink, figured out the fuel consumption. I've bush hogged, I've done some land clearing, I've done some plowing with a 2-bottom 12-inch plow. I've used the tiller. I've used the yard box more than anything. I maintain about a 1,200 foot gravel driveway on the lower side of our house, and it was atrocious until this tractor came home. Now, I've had other tractors, but back before the heart attack, I'd gotten rid of them, and I thought, well, I'm going to buy a new tractor, and then I just kept putting it off, and the economy went south, and you know, there was some geopolitical things at play there. Getting imported tractors became hard. The shipping industry shut me down for a while, and I'm thankful for that, because I was going to go out and spend more money, I believe, for a tractor that would not fit my needs quite as well as this TYM. TYM, let me talk to you about them real quick. I'm not affiliated. I'm just somebody that is OCD with my research. I thought, well, there's another fly-by-night tractor company. Little did I know that this tractor company's been building tractors for 70 years. Little did I know that they own the motor that's in their tractors. It's a Coupe J motor, and there's a very big selling point there with me. I'll try to explain it in a nutshell. One, most tractors that you're looking at, no matter what color or flavor, they do not manufacture their own motors. They are platforms built to receive somebody else's motor. The cool part about this tractor, it's built for this motor. Secondly, about the motor, it's still an analog motor. It is not, you don't have to have a degree that enables you to fly the space shuttle to work on and to operate this motor. It's still got a mechanical fuel pump. What's the big deal about that? There's 2 sensors on this tractor. That's it. I don't have any other sensors. It's got a burn-off sensor, and it's got an overall electronic sensor. If it throws a light, throws a code, that sensor tells me everything. I don't have to go back and start troubleshooting here, there, and yonder to try to put my finger on the problem. This is still a tractor that somebody that does not have proprietary licensing and tools, anybody can work on it. If you can turn a wrench, you can work on this tractor. So thank God for TYM in that regard. And it kind of goes with my philosophy in life: keep it simple, stupid. And we're trying to do that with this tractor. The tractors I've owned in the past, I've had some beautiful antiques. I've had some compacts and subcompacts that I literally used the guts up out of. That's the way I used to buy my groceries, is doing finish grade and final grade and backfill on new construction. And I did that with I preferred an under 25 horsepower subcompact tractor, because yeah, I could go in with the skid steer and I could do a lot of work fast, but then I had to backtrack and clean up the mess that I made trying to get my final grade. Whenever you were done with the skid steer, you put that on the trailer, you went and got the subcompact tractor and a yard box and a front end loader, and you slicked it up like glass. That was a selling point that really gained and garnered me a lot of business. With this tractor, it's just a little bit bigger version. I can do all of that. I can't get in as tight a place as I could with, say, a John Deere 755 or 855, but I can do the same no mess final product. And I'm in the process right now of just about to tear up 3 acres of yard and hopefully going to sod around the house and seed and straw the rest of it. But I want it to be slick. I didn't have that opportunity when we were building this house back in 2018, so I want it to be slick now. This tractor is going to be advantageous in that. I'm a gardener. I love, if you know what a truck farm is, I grew up on a truck farm. We raised what we eat. We gave away what we couldn't, and what we couldn't even give away, we put in a can house to eat in the middle of February. We're getting back to that lifestyle. We've missed that, my wife and I, for the past 7-8 years since we've been in this house. We haven't had the property. We've got the property, it's just, it all looks like that. So we're going to be doing some land clearing. Couldn't do it without this tractor. So when I say don't buy this tractor, buy this tractor. Just make sure you come home with the grapple. I want to show you a few things. We'll start at this corner. I'm going to go all the way around it. I'll show you some things that I absolutely love. I like this tractor. In order to do the financing and bring this thing home, I had to like it. But after 33 hours, I've kind of grown to love it. I want to put a ring on its finger, I guess you could say. And I'll try to do this as painlessly as possible with no gimbal. But let's start with the grapple. It's not a clamshell, but it has the capability to root rake. Make sure you buy heavy duty. Don't go with the thin walled stuff. This is 1/4 and 1/2 inch steel in the tubing and in the frame. I like the dual pistons because you're not always picking up a symmetrical object, and this will give you the opportunity to secure a load better than with a single piston hydraulic. You've got, of course, the self-leveling bucket. This has a float on the bucket, so you can do back blading to grade, and it makes life so much easier. Everything down here is very accessible. You've got your fuel filters, your oil filters, your oil check dipstick. This is not an over-engineered tractor. This is a practically engineered tractor. Another thing about TYM is they've bought a lot of their competition up, but it's not been in an effort just to eliminate competition. They wanted some patents. So they've taken the best of many worlds and put it together to make the superior product, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people are going to say TYM, they're a nobody, they're not a John Deere, they're not a Kubota. Hey, when I bought this tractor, I got 2 hats. How many hats did you get? You know, this fit my need, and it also, more importantly, fit my budget. And to tell you the truth, you know, I've mentioned already that this is a proprietary motor in this tractor. If you were to buy one of those other color tractors, you're getting something that may or may not be best for the platform. This was engineered from the ground up to fit this platform. Now, with this, I like the placement of my hydraulic couplers. It's up higher than most of the tractors that are comparable in this power range. The only thing that's dropped down low, you see I did add the third function here. That's dropped down a little bit lower. I've got a machinist buddy of mine that's going to make me a bracket and a cage for this, and I don't even need, I hope, to raise it all the way up here. And let me show you this little cool thing. This is what, I'm YouTube certified, by the way. There was a guy on YouTube that had a tractor one size bigger than this, and he was displaying how that handle, let me find it, that handle on that keeper pin could separate this coupler if you got it in a bind. So, simple enough. Take it off, throw it in the toolbox in the cab. If you ever need to pull that pin, it's right there and accessible. This tractor, I don't have this door unlocked, but this tractor is accessible from both sides. It's a little harder to get in here without the step. Another thing I will tell you, I love the R14 tires. Don't buy this tractor without getting them. And definitely don't buy this tractor without getting them ballasted and filled with fluid, because this tractor has more horsepower than it has hind end in its britches. And if you don't understand what that means, it's got more horsepower than it can get to the ground unless you put some additional weight on it. And when you're operating it without an implement or any ballast weight back here hanging off the 3-point, that can get a little sticky. So this is for traction. This is for going downhill as much as it is going cross hill. It'll keep the power going to the ground. So make sure if you buy this tractor, you go ahead and get the tires ballasted before you bring it home. Another little thing is the ability for one man to hook things up so easy. They put a lot of thought into this. Most tractor companies, this is a $600 to $1,100 add-on to get telescoping 3-point hitches and to get pin operated draw links. You have to pay for an upgrade. With a TYM, comes out of the box, stock. Another thing that TYM has that some other tractor companies don't have is you've got a rear remote draft control. So when you're hooking something up and you can't get it to that nth degree of perfection to get your pins in, you've got access to it here. As long as your motor's running at an idle, you can move these bars wherever you need to, slide them in and out. Makes hookup so much easier for an old man like me. And that was one of the things that sold me on this tractor. Also back here, we can't leave without talking about the rear remote. I'm waiting right now for them to ship my hydraulic top link. That's going to make the yard box and any blade or any plow so much easier to bring to draft and have the right angle on. checking the hydraulic fluid in the overall of the tractor, it's a little clear window right there. All you got to do is stick a finger in there and knock the dirt off of it, and you don't even have to pull a dipstick to know if you're running the hydraulic fluid you need to. Another thing back here on the back of the tractor, most guys are going to complain about this. Fuel tank placement. I love this. The other option would be behind the step. And in the 575, that's where it's at. And most people that you'll find reviewing that on YouTube are going to talk about the first thing they did was they fabricated a guard to go over that. I don't have to worry about that. This has, I believe, an 8.73 gallon capacity. Figured up the fuel consumption on it while bush hogging and plowing, using the grapple, dragging gravel, and it only uses about 1.4 gallons per minute or per hour. That blew my mind. I thought that this motor would be a fuel hog, but I am so impressed with the fact that an 8-gallon fill up will get you to lunchtime easy, no matter what you're doing. But the reason I like it up here is I do a lot of work in the woods, and that needs that's just one thing I don't have to worry about, is dragging a fuel tank off on a stump somewhere. I like the fact it's up here. I like the fact it clears my 3-point top link. It's kind of just a thing that makes me sleep easier at night, if you know what I mean. We won't go in the cab yet because I've got a few more things to show you. This side over here, you don't have to remove the pin. You can leave that in. The hookup for the grapple, super easy, 1/4-inch lines. The first thing I did with this particular grapple company, I won't name names, is they put pipe threaded fittings on these. So just as soon as you get it, if you get one that has pipe threaded fittings, make sure you run down to your local hydraulic supply warehouse and have them change the couplers. It's about $12 a piece. I went locally to Davis Hydraulic Supply. And again, I know I've said the number, but I'll show you the number. It is a Model T474. I won't pop the hood. We'll talk about the motor on another video, but let's talk real quick about this dirty cab. I'm a little fella, if you can't tell. But this will accommodate great big guys. I've had a lot of buddies that have compact tractors. They've come over, they've played on it, they've helped me put these 33 hours on it, and I've asked them to give me feedback, what they like, what they don't like, what they would like to have on their tractors, no matter what the brand. And the number one thing is the cab. Where I go and what I do, some of the bush hogging and some of the mowing, here in East Tennessee, this is something else that you West Coast guys don't have to fend off, but we have these little bees that are called yellow jackets, and they have a severe disdain for the human race. And there's been many times I've been chased off a tractor while bush hogging or mowing and had to head for the high ground and leave the tractor sit where it was. Sometimes let it run out of fuel, go back after dark and get the tractor. I did not want to do that anymore. I'm getting too old. My heart can't take it. So this cab is super important, because when it's hot outside, I reach right up here and I get cool on the inside. When it's cold outside, and I got this at a perfect time, because we had blackberry winter the week that I had this delivered, and it was cold, and I reached up here and turned it to the red, and I got warm. I'm a pastor. I'm on the phone literally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never know when it's going to ring. So this, with Bluetooth speaker, there's a microphone right up here on the windshield. I can keep on doing what I'm doing, and I can love on people on the phone. We can minister to them and get the ground turned at the same time. I love that aspect about it. Also, right now I don't have my hearing aids in, and you say, "Preacher, you don't look that old." Well, really I am. It's not the years, it's the miles. And my trade-in value is very diminished, because I'll just put it this way: I've got fake stuff in my heart, I wear fake things on my eyes, I have fake things in my ears, and I even have a mouthful of implanted fake teeth. Getting old, and getting old's hard. But those ears that I didn't protect all those years, this cab makes such a difference. It's such a different comfort level in this cab. I can't even I can't even emphasize enough how much the hearing protection of a cab makes a difference. But this is the cool thing in a TYM. It's very insulated, it's very tight, but I can still hear the motor. I can keep up with the RPMs. I can, if I'm bush hogging up a hill and pulling grade, I can hear it. Now this is another thing about this particular tractor that I love. It is linked throttle control. So on your hydrostatic control, no matter where this is set RPM range wise, whenever you push in either direction, you're going to bring the RPMs up to match what you're doing. And it's great when you're working in a tight place with the bucket trying to move dirt or rock, because you don't have to run the tractor wide open all the time. You can, as you're working, you can work to speed and work to RPM, that which is required. Now if you're running an implement back here that is PTO driven, you might want to set that up a little bit more. You, of course, if I'm bush hogging, I set it at 540, which is right at 2400 RPM. And then while controlling it with the foot pedal, if I've got to pull a little harder going uphill, the foot pedal does it for me and I don't touch the throttle. Another thing about this tractor I love above the competition is a station oriented control for your front end loader. This is not added on. I mean, I grew up operating everything from up here like ape hanger handlebars on David Brown tractors to things that were jerry rigged and screwed into the fender down here at my ankle. This is very comfortable. This fits me. Now I know I look like I'm sitting up on the wheel a little bit, but hey, I'm a little feller, so this goes back another 6 inches almost. I've got a toolbox back there now. That is one of two things that I would do differently about this tractor. So let me show you the biggie real quick. This is the only thing I have an issue with. Your draft control is right here by your right thigh. I've got my hand on it now. If it were raised up here, and we're going to figure out a way to do an extension on this. If it was raised up here and taken one side or the other, either closer to the thigh or on the outside, and maybe even down a little farther to clear your range control, you could still use the armrest. Now, if you're bush hogging, that is no big deal. You're going to set this, you're going to put your weight on your 3-point hitch and your rear tire, and you're never going to really have to touch it unless you've got to do a big 360 and raise the bush hog up. If that were different, I couldn't complain about anything. The toolbox that can be added on, it goes behind the step. We're going to do that, but I'm going to do it in a little different configuration, so we're not going with something factory. We're going to go with something that we can fabricate. I guess I've covered just about everything here in the cab that is important on the oh no, I haven't. Your PTO control. Now this is something that is definitely not on some of the competitors. You have a manual option and you have an auto option. The auto option, I thought I'll never use that until I started tilling with a 6-foot tiller box behind this. When you raise it up, after it raises so many degrees, it turns the PTO off, and all you have to do is turn around, not worrying about it, and as soon as you drop the draft control and it clears that degree again, it turns the PTO back on for you. It works so seamlessly. It don't shake the tractor. I figured it'd make the tractor burp and burn down on power. It does not. It seamlessly engages. There's no grinding. There's no guesswork. You don't stick the tiller in the ground and then turn it on and bog the tractor down. As it's going down, it gets its speed up, keeps your RPMs maintained on the tractor overall, and you're good to go. I'll show you now that I've got you out of my phone holder. You've got climate control. You've got radio, and Bluetooth. You've got, I've showed you the PTO and how easy that is to reach, and it's got a safety mechanism built into it on this lever where you engage it manually. The view is incredible. The work angle is great. Any tractor that has a front end loader on it, you're going to be limited as to what you can see on the corners of your bucket. The cab is not an impediment at all. Very, very impressed with the design of this cab and the overall way that the carrier and the framework for the front end loader kind of match seamlessly with your blind spot, so you don't have a blind spot here because of the loader, and here because of the frame, and here because of the cab. Everything has kind of been condensed, and you're not missing out on your work view. So this is an excellent work view, and like I said, this is super roomy. The only thing my wife don't like about it is there's not room enough for two of us in here to work. Now we can run it to the mailbox or get to the garden spot, both of us in it, but it's not practical for two people. There's no buddy seat in this cab, and to be honest, I'm glad there's not. I like the opportunity to be alone and enjoy the solitude of silence sometimes while the diesel purrs. I believe I've pretty much covered most of what I wanted to get hammered. I'm sure I'll remember something, and that'll be another reason for me to make another video, and you'll hear from Toby on a Tractor again. Remember this, I love you, but most important, I know we're talking about tractors, but most important, know this, the Lord loves you more than you can imagine. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you again. Toby on a Tractor.